Gentlemen, if you're taking magnesium for circulation, muscle health, or blood pressure, but you're taking it alone, you're leaving massive benefits on the table. Most men never hear this. They think popping a magnesium supplement once a day is enough, that their body will automatically absorb it and put it to work. But here's the truth. Magnesium absorption is notoriously poor, especially after the age of 50. Your stomach acid declines, your gut lining becomes less efficient. And without the right partner nutrient, most of that magnesium passes straight through your digestive system without ever entering your bloodstream. Stay with me, because there's one specific nutrient that, when paired with magnesium, increases absorption by up to 300%, activates enzymes that support nitric oxide production, and creates a synergistic effect that dramatically improves blood flow, erectile strength, and cardiovascular health. And if you start taking this combination correctly, once a day for 14 to 21 days, you're going to notice stronger erections, better energy, improved muscle recovery, and circulation that feels like it did 10 years ago. Don't skip ahead. I'm going to walk you through the exact nutrient pairing, the science behind why it works, the precise dosages, the timing, and the mistakes that destroy results for men who try this without proper guidance. My name is Dr. Rachael Ross. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician, and for over a decade, I've been working with men over 50 who are dealing with poor circulation, weak erections, muscle cramps, high blood pressure, and the frustration of taking supplements that don't seem to do anything. And one of the biggest issues I see is men taking magnesium in isolation without understanding that it needs cofactors to work effectively. The nutrient you need to pair with magnesium is vitamin D3, not vitamin D2, not a generic multivitamin, high-quality vitamin D3, preferably in liquid or soft gel form with a fat carrier. And when you take magnesium and vitamin D3 together at the right doses and the right time of day, you unlock a level of vascular function, muscular performance, and metabolic efficiency that magnesium alone simply cannot deliver. This protocol, which I call the Magnesium D3 Synergy Stack, is one of the most powerful, underutilized strategies I know for improving circulation and overall vitality in men over 50. So let me explain exactly why this combination is so effective, starting with the mechanisms. Here's the truth. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body. It's critical for energy production, muscle contraction, nerve function, protein synthesis, and blood pressure regulation. But most importantly for our purposes, magnesium is required for the production and activation of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and expand. When your blood vessels are open and flexible, blood flows freely. That means stronger erections, better stamina, improved brain function, and healthier cardiovascular performance. But here's the problem. Your body can't use magnesium effectively without adequate vitamin D. Vitamin D regulates the expression of genes that control calcium and magnesium balance. It increases the production of proteins that transport magnesium into your cells, and it activates enzymes that convert magnesium into its biologically active forms. Without sufficient vitamin D, your magnesium supplementation is largely wasted. You're putting it in, but your body can't access it. Now here's the key. Most men over 50 are deficient in both magnesium and vitamin D. Magnesium deficiency is incredibly common because modern diets are low in magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Vitamin D deficiency is even more widespread because your skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight as you age, and most men spend their days indoors under artificial lighting. So you have two widespread deficiencies, and they compound each other. Low vitamin D means poor magnesium absorption and utilization. Low magnesium means poor vitamin D activation and function. It's a vicious cycle. But when you supplement with both nutrients together at therapeutic doses, you break the cycle. You restore cellular function. You activate the enzymatic pathways that support nitric oxide production, vascular health, and muscular performance. and the benefits show up quickly, often within the first week. Before we go any further, do me a favor, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel if you want more evidence-based strategies that actually improve your health instead of just emptying your wallet. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I read every comment, and it helps me understand who I'm serving and what content to create next. Now let's get into the exact protocol. Don't skip ahead. This is where most men make critical mistakes. They go to the store, buy the cheapest magnesium and vitamin D they can find, take random doses at random times, and wonder why nothing changes. There's a specific type of magnesium, a specific type of vitamin D, specific dosages, and a specific timing that maximizes absorption and effectiveness. Let me walk you through it step by step. First, the type of magnesium matters. There are many forms of magnesium on the market, and they're not all equal. Magnesium oxide is cheap and commonly sold, but it has very poor absorption, less than 10%. Magnesium citrate is better, with absorption around 30 to 40%, and it also has a mild laxative effect, which can be helpful if you're constipated but problematic if you're not. The best forms for circulation and vascular health are magnesium glycinate and magnesium threonate. Magnesium glycinate is bonded to the amino acid glycine, which improves absorption and also supports relaxation and sleep. Magnesium threonate is a newer form that crosses the blood-brain barrier effectively and supports cognitive function. Either one works well. I generally recommend magnesium glycinate for most men because it's affordable, highly absorbable, and gentle on the digestive system. Second, the form of vitamin D matters. You want vitamin D3, also called cholecalciferol. This is the same form your skin produces naturally when exposed to sunlight, and it's far more effective at raising blood levels than vitamin D2, which is the synthetic form often found in cheaper supplements. Vitamin D3 should come in a liquid or soft gel form with a fat carrier like olive oil, coconut oil, or MCT oil. Vitamin D is fat soluble, which means it needs fat to be absorbed. If you take a dry tablet or capsule without fat, absorption drops dramatically. Look for a supplement that provides at least 1,000 to 2,000 international units per soft gel, and make sure it's third-party tested for purity. Third, the dosages need to be therapeutic, not just the minimum daily requirement. For magnesium, most men over 50 need between 300 and 400 milligrams per day. If you're physically active, if you sweat a lot, or if you're dealing with muscle cramps or high blood pressure, you might need closer to 400 to 500 milligrams. Start with 300 milligrams and adjust based on how your body responds. For vitamin D3, the standard recommendation is 1,000 international units per day, but that's often not enough to correct a deficiency or optimize blood levels. Most men over 50 benefit from 2,000 to 4,000 international units per day, especially if they live in northern climates, have darker skin, or spend most of their time indoors. The goal is to get your blood level of vitamin D into the optimal range, which is between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. You can check this with a simple blood test called a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. If you're below 30, you're deficient. If you're between 30 and 50, you're insufficient. If you're above 50, you're in the therapeutic range. Work with your doctor to test your levels and adjust your dosage accordingly. But as a general guideline, 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day is safe and effective for most men. Now, this part is huge. Timing matters. Magnesium is best taken in the evening, ideally 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Why? Because magnesium promotes relaxation, supports the parasympathetic nervous system, and helps prepare your body for deep, restorative sleep. It also works overnight to support muscle recovery and vascular repair. Vitamin D3, on the other hand, is best taken in the morning with your first meal of the day. Why? Because vitamin D is involved in cortisol regulation and circadian rhythm, and taking it in the morning supports natural daytime alertness. It also needs to be taken with fat, so taking it with breakfast, which should include some healthy fats like eggs, avocado, or nuts, ensures optimal absorption. So here's the protocol. Every morning with breakfast, you take 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 in a soft gel or liquid form. You make sure your breakfast includes some fat. Every evening, 30 to 60 minutes before bed, you take 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate with a small glass of water. You do this every single day for at least 14 to 21 days. And that brings us to the most important part. Let me give you a detailed timeline so you know exactly what to expect and when. Day 1, you start the protocol. You take your vitamin D3 in the morning with breakfast. You take your magnesium in the evening before bed. You might not notice anything immediately. That's normal. Your body is beginning to absorb and store these nutrients, but the effects take time to build. Day 2 and 3, you're establishing the habit. You might notice that you're sleeping a little deeper with the magnesium. Your muscles might feel slightly more relaxed. Day 4 to 6, some men start noticing subtle changes. Less muscle cramping, especially in the calves and feet. Better energy in the mornings, improved mood. These are early signs that your cells are getting the nutrients they need and starting to function more efficiently. Day 7 to 10, this is where most men see the first breakthrough. You wake up with a stronger morning erection. Your hands and feet feel warmer. Your recovery from workouts is faster. Your blood pressure, if you're tracking it, might drop a few points. These are signs that your nitric oxide production is increasing, your blood vessels are becoming more flexible, and your circulation is improving. Day 11 to 14, the changes become more consistent. Morning erections are happening regularly. Your energy is stable throughout the day. You're not experiencing the afternoon crashes you used to. Your mental clarity is better. Your mood is more balanced. Day 15 to 21, this is your new baseline. The Magnesium D3 Synergy Stack has optimized your cellular function. Your body is using both nutrients efficiently. Your vascular system is healthier. Your muscular system is more resilient, and you feel like a different man. But let me tell you where men sabotage their results, because I've seen these mistakes over and over. First mistake, they buy the wrong forms of magnesium and vitamin D. They go to the pharmacy, grab magnesium oxide and vitamin D2 because they're cheap, and then wonder why nothing happens. Invest in quality supplements, magnesium glycinate or threonate, vitamin D3 in a soft gel with a fat carrier. It makes all the difference. Second mistake, they take both supplements at the same time, usually in the morning. This isn't optimal. Vitamin D in the morning supports your circadian rhythm. Magnesium in the evening supports relaxation and sleep. Taking them together doesn't increase the synergy. In fact, taking magnesium in the morning can make some men feel sluggish or sleepy during the day. Separate the timing. Morning for D3, evening for magnesium. Third mistake, they don't take enough. They take 100 milligrams of magnesium and 600 IU of vitamin D and expect dramatic results. Those doses are maintenance at best. You need therapeutic doses to correct deficiencies and optimize function. 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium, 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3. Don't be timid with your dosing. Fourth mistake, they quit after 1 week because they don't see instant results. Your body needs time to build up nutrient stores, repair damaged tissues, and recalibrate enzymatic pathways. Give it at least 2 full weeks before you judge effectiveness. Most men see real changes between day 7 and day 14. Fifth mistake, they take the magnesium without food or the vitamin D without fat. Magnesium glycinate can be taken with or without food, but if you have a sensitive stomach, taking it with a small snack helps. Vitamin D absolutely must be taken with fat. No fat, no absorption. Make sure your breakfast includes eggs, avocado, nuts, olive oil, or some other healthy fat source. Sixth mistake, they take way too much magnesium and end up with diarrhea. More is not always better. If you go above 500 milligrams of magnesium per day, especially in forms like magnesium citrate, you're going to spend a lot of time in the bathroom. Start with 300 milligrams. Increase slowly if needed, and choose magnesium glycinate, which is much gentler on the digestive system. Seventh mistake, they don't get their vitamin D levels tested. You're flying blind if you don't know your baseline. Get a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. Know your number. Adjust your dosage based on your results. Retest after 3 months to make sure you're in the optimal range. Now let's talk about safety, because there are some situations where you need to be cautious or consult your doctor before starting this protocol. First, if you have kidney disease or impaired kidney function, you need to be very careful with magnesium supplementation. Your kidneys are responsible for excreting excess magnesium, and if they're not working properly, magnesium can build up to toxic levels. Check with your nephrologist before supplementing. Second, if you're on medications for heart conditions, especially calcium channel blockers, beta blockers, or digoxin, magnesium can interact with those medications and affect how they work. Talk to your cardiologist. Third, if you're taking diuretics, commonly called water pills, those medications cause your body to excrete magnesium, which means you might need higher doses to compensate. But you also need medical supervision to make sure you're not creating imbalances. Fourth, if you have hyperparathyroidism or sarcoidosis, conditions that affect calcium and vitamin D metabolism, high-dose vitamin D can cause problems. You need to work closely with your endocrinologist. Fifth, if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, vitamin D can potentially affect your INR levels, though the evidence is mixed. Monitor closely and communicate with your doctor. And sixth, if you're prone to kidney stones, especially calcium oxalate stones, you need to be cautious with both magnesium and vitamin D. While magnesium can actually help prevent stones by binding to oxalates, vitamin D increases calcium absorption, which could potentially increase stone risk in susceptible individuals. Work with a urologist or nephrologist to find the right balance. For the vast majority of men over 50, this protocol is safe, well tolerated, and highly beneficial. But if you have any of the conditions I just mentioned, get medical clearance first. And if you're sensitive or concerned, start small. Begin with 200 milligrams of magnesium and 1,000 IU of vitamin D3 for the first week. See how your body responds. Then increase gradually to the full therapeutic doses. Let me tell you about a patient who transformed his health with this exact protocol. His name was Frank, 66 years old, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, chronic muscle cramps in his legs, and weak erections. He'd been taking a generic multivitamin for years, thinking that was enough. His doctor checked his vitamin D level, and it came back at 18 nanograms per milliliter, severely deficient. His magnesium wasn't tested, but based on his symptoms, muscle cramps, fatigue, poor sleep, I knew he was low. I put him on the Magnesium D3 Synergy Stack, 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate every evening, 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 every morning with breakfast. Within 1 week, his muscle cramps stopped. Within 10 days, he woke up with a morning erection for the first time in 2 years. Within 3 weeks, his blood pressure dropped from 142/90 to 128/80. His energy improved, his sleep improved, his mood improved. When we retested his vitamin D 3 months later, it was at 62 nanograms per milliliter, solidly in the optimal range. He told me, "I can't believe I went years suffering with cramps and fatigue when all I needed was the right supplements at the right doses. My doctor never told me my vitamin D was that low. I feel like I got 10 years back. That's the power of addressing deficiencies with targeted therapeutic supplementation. You're not just managing symptoms, you're restoring function at the cellular level. And when your cells work properly, your entire body works better." Here's something else you need to understand. The synergy between magnesium and vitamin D goes deeper than just absorption. Vitamin D activates the vitamin D receptor, a nuclear receptor that regulates hundreds of genes. Many of those genes are involved in calcium and magnesium transport, bone health, immune function, and cardiovascular health. but the vitamin D receptor itself requires magnesium to function properly. Without magnesium, the receptor can't bind to DNA and do its job. So you end up in a situation where even if your vitamin D levels are high, you're not getting the full benefit because you don't have enough magnesium to activate the receptor. On the flip side, magnesium is required for the enzyme that converts vitamin D into its active form, called calcitriol. If you're magnesium deficient, your body can't activate vitamin D efficiently, which means your blood levels might look decent on a test, but your tissues aren't actually using it. This is why taking both nutrients together creates such a powerful effect. You're not just adding two separate benefits, you're creating a multiplicative synergy where each nutrient enhances the function of the other. Think of it like an engine that needs both fuel and spark plugs. Magnesium is the fuel, vitamin D is the spark. You can have a full tank of fuel, but without the spark, the engine won't start. You can have spark plugs, but without fuel, there's nothing to ignite. You need both working together to get the engine running smoothly. Now let's talk about additional strategies that amplify the benefits of this protocol. First, make sure you're getting enough vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 works synergistically with vitamin D and magnesium to regulate calcium metabolism. It ensures that calcium goes into your bones and teeth where it belongs, instead of depositing in your arteries and soft tissues where it causes problems. You can get K2 from fermented foods like natto, sauerkraut, and certain cheeses, or you can take a K2 supplement, typically 100 to 200 micrograms per day. Second, prioritize magnesium-rich foods in your diet. Supplements are helpful, but food sources provide additional cofactors and phytonutrients. Eat more leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, nuts like almonds and cashews, seeds like pumpkin and sunflower, legumes like black beans and lentils, and whole grains like quinoa and brown rice. These foods provide not just magnesium, but also fiber, antioxidants, and other minerals that support overall health. Third, get safe sun exposure when possible. 20 to 30 minutes of midday sun on your arms, legs, and torso without sunscreen 2 to 3 times per week can help your body produce vitamin D naturally. This doesn't replace supplementation, especially in winter or if you live in northern latitudes, but it adds to your total vitamin D status and provides other benefits like circadian rhythm regulation and improved mood. Fourth, manage your stress. Chronic stress depletes magnesium rapidly because your body uses magnesium to produce stress hormones and buffer the effects of cortisol. If you're constantly stressed, you're burning through magnesium faster than you can replace it. Practice stress management techniques like deep breathing, meditation, walking in nature, or simply setting boundaries at work and in relationships. And fifth, prioritize sleep. Both magnesium and vitamin D play critical roles in sleep quality and circadian rhythm. When you take magnesium in the evening and vitamin D in the morning, you're supporting your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, but you also need to create good sleep hygiene. Dark room, cool temperature, no screens an hour before bed, consistent sleep schedule. Quality sleep amplifies the benefits of every other health intervention you make. Let me give you one more patient story to drive this home. His name was Eugene, 59 years old. He came to me complaining of chronic fatigue, brain fog, and erectile dysfunction. He'd been to multiple doctors. They ran tests. Everything came back normal. Thyroid fine. Testosterone low normal but not clinical. Blood sugar fine. Cholesterol slightly elevated but managed. No one could figure out what was wrong. I checked his vitamin D and magnesium. Vitamin D was 24, deficient. We didn't test magnesium directly because serum magnesium is notoriously unreliable. It doesn't reflect intracellular stores, but based on his symptoms and dietary history, I strongly suspected deficiency. I put him on the Magnesium D3 Synergy Stack. 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate at night, 3,000 IU of vitamin D3 in the morning. Within 2 weeks, his brain fog lifted. Within 3 weeks, his energy was back. Within 4 weeks, his erections improved significantly. He said, "I thought I was losing my mind. I thought maybe I had early dementia or chronic fatigue syndrome, but I was just deficient in 2 basic nutrients. Why didn't anyone check this sooner?" That's a great question. And the answer is, most conventional doctors don't think about nutrient deficiencies unless they're extreme. They're trained to diagnose diseases and prescribe medications, not to optimize cellular function through nutrition. That's why it's so important for you to take ownership of your health, to educate yourself, to ask for the right tests, and to implement protocols like this that are backed by science, but often overlooked by mainstream medicine. You can't always rely on your doctor to connect these dots. Sometimes you have to do it yourself, and when you do, the results can be life-changing. Here's the bottom line. If you're taking magnesium, don't take it alone. Pair it with vitamin D3. Use the right forms: magnesium glycinate or threonate, vitamin D3 in a soft gel with a fat carrier. Take therapeutic doses: 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium, 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3. Time it correctly. Vitamin D in the morning with a fat-containing breakfast, magnesium in the evening before bed. Do this every single day for at least 14 to 21 days, and watch what happens. Your circulation will improve, your erections will get stronger, your energy will stabilize, your sleep will deepen, your muscles will recover faster, and you'll feel like a version of yourself you thought was gone forever. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, are you currently taking magnesium or vitamin D? Is it A, yes, I take both but separately and not optimally? Is it B, I take one but not the other? Or is it C, I don't take either, but I'm going to start after watching this? Drop A, B, or C in the comments. I read every single one, and your feedback helps me create content that serves you better. And if you found this valuable, share it with a friend, a brother, a father, someone who's dealing with circulation issues, fatigue, or weak erections. We're building a community of men who refuse to accept decline, who take control of their health with knowledge and action, and who support each other. That's what real brotherhood looks like. Before I close, I want to challenge you. This isn't just about supplements. This is about understanding how your body works at the cellular level and giving it the raw materials it needs to function optimally. Most men over 50 are walking around with multiple nutrient deficiencies, wondering why they feel terrible, why their bodies aren't responding the way they used to. But you're not broken. You're not too old. You're just under-resourced. And when you provide the right resources in the right combinations at the right doses, your body responds. The Magnesium D3 Synergy Stack is one of the most powerful, evidence-based, and affordable interventions you can make. It's proof that you don't need expensive treatments or complicated protocols. You just need to understand the science and apply it consistently. If you want to keep learning, check out the next video where I break down the 3 most common supplement mistakes that men over 50 make, including one that's actually making your circulation worse without you realizing it. Don't miss it. Gentlemen, your body is capable of incredible things at any age. You just have to give it what it needs. The Magnesium D3 Synergy Stack is what it needs. Use it. Trust the process, and I'll see you in the next one.